Hello, welcome back to Budget with Chloe. Today I wanted to show you guys the method of budgeting that I've started using that has absolutely changed the game for me. Okay, so we are looking at my spending breakdown in YNAB, or You Need a Budget, for January 2025. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you might be thinking that this number looks a little high, 5,700. My take-home pay from my job is 3,700 currently. And so I've started doing what some other creators on here do and other people do in their lives. I'm budgeting my gross income in YNAB. So if you take a look at the side here, you can see there's some categories that didn't exist before. Income tax and my pension, CPP, which is the Canada pension plan, union dues, things like that. And this has really taken a weight off my shoulders. I think I've always had some guilt with being house poor, not being able to do things, as I've mentioned here numerous times, and also feeling bad that I'm not contributing to an RRSP or a TFSA. But I think this has really changed my mindset around budgeting, being able to see where all of my money is going, even though it's not hitting my account, it's doing work for me in the background. So as you can see here, payroll deductions was my second largest category group in my spending. And so 32% of the money that I earn, or I suppose this doesn't take into account savings, so 32% of the money I spent, which comes from the money I earned, went to payroll deductions. And so when I look at this big list and I'm scrolling and it takes a while to even come across anything that's, miscellaneous spending, like personal spending. And I was trying to do a no/low by month, so it should look like that. But I think just on a regular month, it's going to start to look a lot different with all of these categories. And I can see that I am actually saving, like this is a combined 15% towards my future, towards retirement, right? So that feels really great. And I know at first I didn't think that it was going to be easy to implement, so I was a little worried about that. But it was actually quite easy to go in and edit my first paycheck in January, and then the second one I just entered it the same way, and it really does give a better idea of your financial picture and what you're doing with your money. So I'm really loving that. But so I spent $5,722.35 in January. The biggest expense, of course, being my mortgage, as always, though the percentage is brought down a bit because of all of my payroll deductions being in here. The second highest, income tax. I can't complain about taxes. I think they do very important things for us, especially in Canada, where our healthcare is, included, part of the deal. So, but it is nice to see that on here and feel like I'm not exactly, that I don't have a high income, right? Groceries, 9%, $502.97. This was a little high. There were 5 Thursdays in January, so I did have an extra HelloFresh box, which is almost $50. And then I think I bought a couple of bottles of wine, which I just add into my groceries. And then I also restocked coffee pods, and I went to Costco and bought a lot of meat. So my grocery spending this month should actually be less than my average, and that is kind of why this one was a bit higher. I might need to add some kind of category. I know Just Finance has one for grocery restock when you do kind of a bigger shop. I think that might make sense in my budget, so that's something I'll think about there. This is my pension with my company, 8%, and then the Canada pension plan contributions made up 6%. Utilities, 254.73. I would love to insert the clip in, I think it was November or December, where I said I'm not even going to add the full 210 to my utilities because I don't need that much rollover because my bill hasn't been that high. Well, now my bill's high and I'm going to need more than the 210 that was supposed to be building up to create a buffer. So 254.73 for my utilities last month. Property tax, condo fees, same old, same old. Paid some money to my mom and dad. My car insurance, 152.25, and Peloton. So this is the first thing that I would consider like personal spending. So that was 118.67, 2% of my spending. 2%. That's nothing. Gas, 118.29, also 2%. Dining out. You know what? I'm not going to touch on this because I want to film a different video talking about the no/low buy month. So 115.68, I'll just say, is good for my target going forward, which is $100 a month. So I'll leave it at that. Union dues, 101.50. Car maintenance, 96.33. I did have to get an oil change and they change out some, I think they changed some filters for me. So that was a little higher than I would say normal, but I feel like my car maintenance has been higher recently. EI contributions, that is employment insurance here in Canada. Clothing, that was the dress that I'm going to wear to a wedding that's coming up this month. And that was kind of exempt from my no buy month there. Internet and TV, same bill. I named this one Big Sick Insurance. This is a combination of, I think, like long-term disability and a supplementary death benefit. So I just put those two together and they have kind of sad names. So I just called it the Big Sick. Toiletries, $40.10. Again, I went to Costco, so I did stock up on some things. My phone bill is $36.70 as always. Home maintenance, $28.88. I believe, what did I buy home maintenance? I went to Home Depot. I remember that, but I can't remember what I got. Health and wellness. That was probably a bottle of my multivitamins that I buy. Bank fees. This should be the last one, okay? Because this month I should be good for what I need to keep in my account to not pay the fee. So that $16.95, I believe I put, oh no, I haven't put it in there yet, but when I budget, I'll budget it in there. And if I don't end up using it, it's going to go into the next month category. Household goods, I think I bought some soap, things like that. Shareables, I went to one of my friends' houses and brought dessert. Birthday gifts, that was a card for my brother earlier in January. And then Spotify, $367. So I think this definitely brings me a bit more peace. Some people, totally fine, would not want to see these categories in here. Like, who wants to see that income tax took 15% of their money, you know, or 15% of spending? It's kind of hard to phrase that because this is not a breakdown of my income, it's a breakdown of spending, so it doesn't take into account things that are rolling over into the next month. But you know, it can be sad to see like your gross to net income, but you know, I can see it anyway, so I might as well put it into this graph and then also be able to kind of feel better that like, okay, 15% of my spending is going towards some form of pension. Yeah, and like I really am not going crazy like spending on myself, right? So I'm doing like the little things I can while I have this big mortgage, which is, you know, a temporary situation. Eventually I'll move in with my partner and we won't both own houses. So it's a temporary situation, but I'm making progress. I'm getting ahead in life. I'm not just, you know, I'm not as paycheck to paycheck as I thought I was because there's things going on in the background that are working in my favor, right? So this really has changed my mindset, honestly. And if you think you might want to do it, consider trying it. If you have YNAB, you can make, you know, as many budgets as you want. Try starting a new budget and adding a transaction and seeing what it would look like just to try it if you're worried about it kind of messing up your budget, right? So I promise you it might make you feel better about your spending if you're kind of in a similar situation to me. So that was my January, and I will talk about my low buy in another video. And I don't think I have. Oh, I think I have one goal for February. I wanted to keep my grocery spending under 350, I believe it was, and kind of to do that, I did pause 1 week of HelloFresh, so I'm only gonna get 3 boxes this month to help with that. And then I guess I kind of cheated because I went to Costco and stocked up on a lot of meat, so it is probably going to be a lot less. Um, but just kind of being more conscious of my grocery spending this month, and that will go towards, I think most challenge things I'm going to do this year are going to go towards travel and month ahead, kind of split between the two. So that's what my February is going to look like. Let me know if you have any goals for February in life or in your finances. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.